We're back for the discussion of Black Mass, and if you saw our review, we were mixed on it. The performances are good. The shooting's good. You know, all the period stuff, costuming, all that kind of thing is really well done. But it took what I thought was an interesting story. I mean, this is a crime boss that kind of used the FBI to take out his enemies in Boston, and then was a fugitive from justice for, what was it, 20 years, something like that, 15 years. And they just told it in the most dry, to the point, to the fact kind of way. Mm-hmm. They also had like a great cast, and they had like a great secondary cast, but they would just introduce characters and give up on them completely. You'd never see them again. Like,
I wondered what happened to his wife.
Exactly. We assume...
I assumed that was a missing scene or something, because they never revisited it. Did they even mention it?
No.
I was wondering if I just missed something.
We assumed that was the end of their marriage.
Well, I assumed that later, because it never went back to it.
Right.
I thought it was just a stormy argument at the time.
Or
maybe he was even going to threaten her or something, yeah.
No, I mean, we never see Dakota Johnson again. She's just gone from the movie.
It, yeah.
Well, they introduced that one guy at the very beginning who's the initial informant, your initial narrator.
Yeah, you think he's going to play a much bigger role, right?
You think it's going to follow
disappears
him,
into the background again.
And then you just never see him outside of that initial story.
Yeah.
It keeps
he shows up
narrators.
Here and there.
He's in the background. He's just not pivotal.
It's that kid from Breaking Bad.
That's right, yeah.
The last season or two of Breaking
Bad.
Not
too different a character either.
No.
Well, there is no character. I mean, he's just like thug number one.
Exactly, yeah. Generic thug.
And because, so Bulger basically uses Connolly to get the FBI to do whatever he wants. Mm-hmm. Connolly's like making things up to get the FBI to leave him alone. Mm-hmm. And in the end, when the management changes over and the FBI decides to come after him, they can't, because their RICO case against the Mafia is all based on stuff that he gave them.
Yeah, they can't dismantle their own work.
So the only thing they can do is go after the crooked investigators. Yeah. So they go after the crooked investigators, and they go after everybody else in his crew, mm-hmm. because only he's protected from all of the stuff. That all sounds like a really interesting story, and it just wasn't. They didn't make him seem calculated. They didn't make him seem interesting.
Right.
You just kind of think, like, for the first half of the movie, you just kind of feel like Joel Edgerton's character kind of has, like, the upper hand, or there's an actual partnership or whatever.
Yeah.
And instead, like, they keep flashing forward and showing you, like, no, everyone that Whitey Bulger works with is against him by the end. Mm-hmm. It's like, then there's no tension in this movie.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just weird how everyone's just covering their ass, and
it makes sense for the story, but they're showing you that before they even show you why that would happen. Yeah. Like, why they'd be going up against him.
Yeah, that does take a bit of the wind out of it.
Yeah, it's like he was on the most wanted list for 10 plus years, and you show like the least interesting aspects of his story.
Yeah. That's just what they wanted to play on. I mean, I don't know, the tone of it though, I thought was good, and like when you were watching it, like the machinations that like everyone's going through to kind of like, he's covering his ass and that affects this, and like I thought that was interesting watching it, but then looking back on it, it just all blends together.
I mean, I guess you could say that Joel Edgerton is sort of the secret protagonist of the film.
He's the loyal one.
Well, he's the one that you follow the most closely. And you don't know the outcome of what happens to him right away.
Yeah.
You assume, and his is like the final arrest that they show and they make a big deal out of. Mm-hmm. But it just doesn't work. Like, who did you like in this movie?
Yeah, nobody. I mean, the only one you could possibly be sympathetic towards was the female characters, who were basically background. You know, because they were innocent and that they weren't part of the whole criminal stuff.
They weren't really characters.
Like, that's true, yeah. They were just there.
Like, Edgerton's wife.
Well, when you say who do you like, are you referring to who
Like who had
is
the
the most charismatic? Because
No, I mean like who do you
like as a protagonist?
yeah
that's
who
morally,
do you root
would
for
you-
in the
who would-
film?
Yeah,
who do you want to succeed?
well, I mean,
I mean, is this the tragedy of Joel Edgerton? Is this the like what is this movie about?
it honestly felt like a Shakespearean tragedy, and then nobody came out on top.
Sure. But it also felt like one in that, like, none of the characters, like, they just have the words and they have whatever they think of to do around the words to be characterized with.
Mhm.
You know? We don't know, like, we don't have any kind of a sense of what kind of person Romeo is. You know what I mean? Like,
I really enjoyed the scenes towards middle to the end of the movie where the other agents in the FBI started to become really suspicious of Joel Edgerton's character, and he would be like, well, who's this informant? And all of a sudden nobody knew who the informants were, and I thought that was a really nice touch, yeah, to show the mistrust there.
yeah, but at the same time, like, I don't get, like, Kevin Bacon disappears for a long time, and then suddenly he's back
Comes
at the
back
end to
quickly
nail
and-
him.
Yeah.
It's like, where
It's
have
a
you
little
been? And why aren't you the one going after him now? Or
Also, you never really know what his character is. Like, is he Joel Edgerton's boss? Because it didn't really seem that way.
well,
but it did.
he was Joel Edgerton's boss, and the guy that came in that ended up going after Bulger was actually the prosecutor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they don't make any of that kind of stuff clear. It's the same thing with Dakota Johnson just vaporizing.
Yeah.
It's
Which, you know,
they don't care to make that stuff clear. They don't care to.
well, earlier on, I thought the film was going to be something different because you know that scene where they're sitting with his son at the table and his son had hit someone and he was like, "You just do that, but don't get caught," kind of thing. Like I thought it was going to go more in that direction and there was going to be some kind of redeeming qualities to the guy's character, but you know you're a big fan of character arcs, but there kind of is none. Like he's just a bad guy then, and there's no change.
Yeah, it's like they might have
They
written,
never came back to visit that family stuff. His son just dies, and that's it.
and that's it.
It
And
was
like,
almost pointless, the scene at the table.
there's no humor.
Yeah.
Left-
Apart from that was one
Apart
little
from
bit.
that.
I thought it was going to go off, and
There's no humor. I mean, there's that one scene where he like shakes the guy down for giving up the recipe so easily.
yeah, that was tense, or at least I
Yeah,
felt
I mean,
was at the time.
Yeah,
Well, I think the characterization of
He's a bit of a psycho.
Bulger kind of changed depending on who was talking. Because in the very first part, it's Thug Number One, and he looks up to Bulger. And when he talks, he talks about how people actually liked Bulger and
Yeah.
things like that. And then later, it's people who Bulger have clearly wronged.
I know what you're saying, but I'm not going to string the movie that much credit that it changed based on who was telling the story.
That was just incidental, maybe.
Maybe it's just an
It,
observation.
to me, it felt like they shot the scenes out of order, like when the actors were available, and this is the movie that became of it.
Huh.
Like, there seems to be some pieces missing.
Yeah.
The prosecutor, like, yeah, that might be how it happened, but like, it would be more satisfying if that was something that Kevin Bacon figured out. You know what I mean? That kind of stuff.
So what was with the CGIs? That was creepy at times. Like,
Well, yeah, he had contacts, and then for close-ups, they had like really
iris movements
detailed
and stuff.
irises.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was to make him look more menacing.
Well, he definitely looked menacing, but kind of in a creepy horror kind of way.
Yeah, kind of in a robot, like robot monster kind of way.
Yeah.
I honestly think they designed his character less around Ray Liotta, although it did look like Ray Liotta.
That was just the result.
But more Nosferatu,
Who's that? That sounds familiar.
the movie Nosferatu.
Oh.
He has a very, you mentioned it, vampiric look.
Yeah.
And the way his face is shaped, it to me screamed Nosferatu.
Did you see the real picture of him at the end?
Yeah.
That's what he looks like.
Well, I know.
I don't think they designed anything. I think they made it look like he looks.
Well, I mean, I've seen pictures of him without glasses, and they definitely gave him some characteristics to make him look more evil.
More creepy, more evil.
Because Whitey Bulger just looks like
guess.
some dude. And Johnny Depp in this movie, he looks like what you would picture a monster of a person to look like.
Especially
Okay.
in the close-ups.
Yeah.
Like when he's like, the other guy's wife is saying she doesn't feel very well, and he's like touching her head to see if she has a fever kind of thing, and then almost throttling her. That was kind of cool. He did
That
look like a
scene was
monster there, and he had actually just throttled someone about a couple hours earlier.
Right.
That was creepy.
Yeah.
That was intense. I really liked that scene.
Yeah. We'll all forget this in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
That's Black Mass. If you like the way we do these, please like the video, subscribe, check out all the written and video reviews at dalemaxfield.com, and thanks for watching.